What happens when investments meet opportunity? That's the concept the Imo State government is driving for business, wealth, and shared prosperity for all. Hello there and welcome to this focus on the first Imo State Economic Summit in Owerri. I'm David Alabi. Now, this year's summit pulls domestic and global leaders in governance and business to be a part of the accelerated journey to an industrialized Imo State. The chief host, Governor Hope Uzodimma, says the state is the new investment equation engineered for maximum return while highlighting progress made in infrastructure, power, security, and land administration.
Welcome to Imo State, the Eastern Heartland, the home of the digital economy and the home of hospitality. Welcome to this historic first Imo Investment Summit. In my new thinking, Imo stands for Investments Meets Opportunities, IMO. In energy and technology, Imo State holds in East Belly the largest proven gas reserve in West Africa. Let me repeat, the largest proven gas reserve in West Africa. We have a substantiated and proven natural gas reserve estimated at 200 trillion cubic feet, with an additional potential of 600 trillion cubic feet in unproven reserves. So for those looking for opportunities for investment in the oil and gas sector, Imo State is the destination. For years, this resource sat largely untapped because the platform was not ready. That has changed. With the support of the federal government, we have established the Orashi Energy Free Trade Zone, a strategic gateway designed specifically for investment in our energy sector. Early birds in this space will enjoy tax holidays and abundant growth opportunities. But this is not just about extraction. We are talking about value addition through digital-led manufacturing, technology-enabled services, and logistics, all leveraging the infrastructure of the free trade zone. And you will need skilled workers to operate these industries. We have them. Through our Skilled Up Imo initiative, we have created a large, readily available pool of digital talent and a skilled technical workforce. As cohorts complete training, some join the civil service, others enter the private sector, and many launch startups and self-sustaining businesses. Your workforce is ready. Your energy supply is ready. The incentives are in place. Yes, Imo State is ready to house your investments. Our solid minerals sector, comprising of limestone, kaolin, and clay, offers immediate opportunities in cement production and ceramics manufacturing. Indeed, our natural endowments are many, waiting to be explored. Global connectivity. It is not possible to run a modern industrial operation without access to the global markets. Our Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport is now fully fitted for both day and night operations. We are actively seeking partnership to maximize the cargo component, positioning this airport as a major logistics hub in West Africa. But we are even thinking ahead. We are working to open up Imo State through Oguta and Orashi River to the Atlantic Ocean. The dredging activities have been completed, and proper dredging will soon start to the Atlantic Ocean corridor. This is a vision, and this vision is realizable. Future access to global maritime trade is part of our ultimate plan. And because global business requires global standards, we have invested in world-class hospitality infrastructure. The newly restored Concord Hotel, one of the best five-star hotels in the country now, is to be managed by a leading global hospitality brand, the Hilton Hotels. This is the environment where deals will be done.
All these possibilities converge to remind us that Imo is not just ready for investment. Imo is prime for transformation. The federal government stands ready to support Imo State in these investment areas. Our role is to work with you to unlock opportunities, to de-risk promising ventures, and to ensure that the benefits of development are felt across communities. To our investors here today, the message is unmistakable. Imo is open for business. Nigeria is open for business. And this government stands as your partner in progress.
World leaders present here echo the need for partnerships, innovation and investment in positioning subnationals for global capital.
Across the continent, we see a desire to transform natural blessings into tangible prosperity, to move from potential to productivity, and to shift from dependency to innovation-driven growth. Imo State is not alone in this quest. As we reflect on the task before us, an African proverb reminds us that when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. This proverb teaches us that even the most complex challenges can be overcome when we work together.
And in order to establish long-term solutions, global solutions, we need inclusive and participatory action, including global citizens, especially those throughout Africa, as an essential ingredient to make good on the power of partnership.
In my opinion, the Imo State has an absolutely fantastic future. And I think that Nigeria's great days lie ahead of it. The Imo State's great days lie ahead of it. And I think the great days of the historic friendship, partnership, love affair between Britain and Nigeria also lie ahead of us.
The Imo State government's initiatives and signals to the investing community come under focus with a call for stronger public-private partnerships.
By what I've seen, anybody who is serious to come and invest, there are opportunities here, and you cannot actually count this sort of opportunities. So there's power, young population, arable land, mineral resources. There is nothing that they lack here in Imo. So I believe that, it's the right way for investors to look at and come and put up an investment here.
Yes, and let's also have you talk about risk perception at this moment where security is also a challenge across border in Nigeria. And then looking at the wider picture as a whole, what investment opportunities are you looking at within Imo State, especially for states looking to diversify beyond oil and gas into agriculture?
I think we'll look at areas like agriculture, because we're already big in oil and gas. But agriculture, we're also into rice, mainly as sugar, so we will look into those areas, that actually complements our business. But you are talking about insecurity. Insecurity, you can see that insecurity has drastically reduced. Why has it reduced? Because of prosperity. When you create jobs, that's what can take away insecurity.
Having said this, we have to see how we manage the perception from the point of view of our own narrative. And we haven't been able to do that for many reasons. And because there's too many vested interests for Africa, for Nigeria, for the resource of this continent. So we're going to have to manage it, because at the end of the day, all this perception build increases the risk, and we know how for example, rating agencies take all this on board and, of course, downrate the capacity for African economies to emerge. But having said this, there are enough resources on this continent to be deployed throughout the continent without having to go out.
When you create infrastructure and create a knowledge economy, which is the digital rollout is doing, there's nothing more to add. Okay, so you have people with common sense and tech-driven. So you got everything together. That's what you have in Imo State. You don't have any other place.
The role of multilateral and domestic financial institutions, as well as development partners, is highlighted in bringing initiatives such as the Orashi Free Trade Zone to life, a gateway expected to spur key sectors.
Orashi's Free Zone is indeed a transformational platform for industrialization in the state. And what this zone offers is an opportunity to come to a location where you have your free stock in the terms of gas. So those who are interested to have the gas industrialized companies such as LNG, fertilizer, methanol, and refinery, they have shown a lot of interest. They have shown a lot of interest in the zone. And we're in deep conversations with them because one thing is for sure, when they're located within Orashi, and by the way, Orashi is in 4 local governments in the state, and all these local governments, they all have gas, they have oil wells. But 2 of the local governments, Owerri local government and the Obuta local government, they are rich resource base of the state in terms of oil and gas. So we have had a lot of interest from investors who are likely to use this as their gas feedstock in their manufacturing or in their products. And of course, they're interested because it takes away the risk of taking the gas out. It assures that the supply is also a very competitive pricing because they're there in the location where this is being produced. So there's a lot of attraction. But again, the zone is wide. The zone accommodates manufacturing. The zone accommodates agri-processing zone. So it's a rich zone that has a lot of interest, both from locals and international.
And what does the picture look like for 2026? Partnerships, deals in the work, and further incentives for investors.
2026 is going to be a fantastic year for us because it's going to be the year where the infrastructure we're planning to put in place, starting with the cargo airport, which the state has already in the state was not functional, is going to become operationalized. Starting with the ports, we have the in-depth conversation with the Nigerian Inland Waterways, and we have signed an MoU both with them and both with FAN, and we are able to assure that there's an opportunity to have logistics to take things out and into the zone. So 2026 is going to be fantastic. It's also going to be a year where our anchor investors and our angel investors are going to be right there building their plans.
And for us at Afrexim Bank, we've had very constructive engagement with the state. We are building one of the 3 quality infrastructure we are doing in Nigeria here in Imo State that will focus on oil and gas, petrochemicals, and agriculture for testing, inspection, and certification. But we are approaching it in an integrated manner because we are also working to support the Orashi Special Economic Zone. I will call it an integrated project because not only is it a special economic zone with the usual type of investments that are required to the power infrastructure and all that, but also there is a dredging project to open up the 100-kilometer Orashi River that runs from Obuta up to the Atlantic Ocean, so that, as we've seen in Europe and many other parts of the world, ocean-going vessels can come up and berth in Obuta. That would then make the special economic zone extremely viable.
Conversations entered day 2 with an acknowledgement of tourism as an economic catalyst, spotlighting Imo State's arts, culture and heritage, as well as strategies to become the ultimate investment destination.
Within the visual arts and storytelling and writing, it's important to package what we're doing here to encourage people to come into Imo State and see the talents that there is. I want to talk about the power and the powerhouse that the creative economy is. You know, we talk about art in such a soft language sometimes that we forget how much money it draws to economies around the world. When you travel anywhere, when you go to London, people are going to the museums. When you're going to see the London Eye. You're going to Paris to see the monuments. You're going to Lagos to see Nike Art Gallery. You know, people are now going, you know, there's the museum coming up in Benin. Once upon a time, the Calabar Festival was a big draw. So what is the draw? What is bringing people to Imo State? And of course there are things, there's Ugota Lake, there are monuments here, but who knows about them? What are we doing to communicate what we're doing here? And how are we preserving our heritage? How are we making money from our heritage? The Mbari system is the foundation of the modern art system that we have today. And I mean that globally. I don't mean Nigeria. All around the world, scholars are studying the Mbari Owerri system, which means that we have always been advanced. Our indigenous knowledge has always been technology. Technology is not new to us, but you have other people telling a better story, using our stories, making money for their economies. How are we being strategic about that? Where are the documentaries about Ugota Lake? Where are the documentaries about the work that we're doing here? Where are the programs that are still modeled off the Mbari system, which was a creative ecosystem, where you're housing the artists, the writers? You know, if we commission artists to create work about Ugota Lake, to create work about other monuments in the state, that's how, and then you share that, right? That's how people know. There is an identity of Lagos. Why do we know that? There's the yellow bus, that, you know, because we've seen it. We've seen it in film, we've seen it in paintings. And I was having a conversation yesterday morning with a journalist, and I asked him, you know, before you saw a lot more yellow buses in Nigerian art, but you don't see them anymore. And why is that? Because you don't see yellow buses in real life. Art imitates life. Art is a documentary of life. This is how in 20 years, when you come back, if you want to know what Imo State looks like, you should see the art. You should see the museum. You should say in 2025, this is what the people were discussing. I used to be the director of the Guild of Professional Fine Artists of Nigeria. So I can tell the different regions the artists are from. The artists from the South are talking about oil spills through the art. I visited an artist in Kaduna 2 years ago, a very established artist, and so I went to his studio, and it allowed me to see his work from when he had just finished school, 1970s or so, and now in 2023 at the time. And I saw that his art had not really changed. To a normal person, you say, oh, he paints the same thing over and over again. But actually, that was him documenting history, showing that Kaduna is at a standstill. They're still discussing the same things. They're still going through the same issues in Kaduna. That's what it's saying. But if you go to a different region and you see that the art is changing, it's telling you that in 1980s, this is what the city looks like. How are we documenting? What we don't want to lose our identity if it's not written and documented anywhere. There's that. But when you also think about the ecosystem, it's not just the artist, it's the carpenter who's building the frame, it's the painter who's painting the gallery, it is the person who's stretching the work, it's the admin, it's the technology components of it. There's so many jobs that can be created through this visual arts. There's so many direct and indirect impacts on the economy. So I think that of course, security is definitely the biggest draw, even for the practitioners themselves. Even for me as a daughter of Imo State, I want to know that I'm safe here to conduct the work that I do, and also encourage people to come with me, to come back to my state.
Government needs to work closely with that industry and curate some of these things she's talked about. Get it out, put the government backing on it, so that the private sector moves with the government towards getting some documentary, something, maybe even an institutionalized arrangement where people can log into Imo tourism and see the elements, see what there is in Imo State.
And I think it's a quick win that can be achieved very quickly.
Achieving the right nexus of digital transformation and imperatives for positioning Imo State as a startup and tech hub in Africa unearths action points for the government.
I'm here in Imo as part of a program that is a founder development program that is being done in partnership between my company, USMAC, and the Siddhartha Center for Entrepreneurship at UC Berkeley. And the idea is that here in Imo, there is an amazing talent base of technologists that's being built. But there isn't the skill and experience in terms of being able to found companies, build the products that people love, and then figuring out how to scale it. The challenge of a first-time founder is unique. And so we're looking not at the financial capital side, but the human capital side, that if you can build great founders here in Imo, in Owerri, they will build great companies, and those great companies will come on and become the economic engines for development and growth here.
There is a lot we can actually derive as a state because of our capabilities that we can actually build on blockchain. Yesterday, the governor, His Excellency, gave us a keynote speech, and he talked about using blockchain at the land registry, right? So one of the benefits of blockchain is that you're able to keep your records and nobody can alter the record, right? And why is it called a blockchain? It simply means that each time you put a block on the chain, there has to be some verification. There has to be some alignment. Whenever you put a default block, every other node would set an alarm that there is a problem. So that's record keeping, right? So apart from using blockchain for our land registry, we can also use blockchain in our hospitals. We can use blockchain even in the ministry. We're familiar with the ghost workers. How are the ghost workers operating? It simply means one person is providing a list of 10 people as workers in a particular ministry, and those records are altered. Those records can actually be built on blockchain so that the ministries are not paying more than the number of people working there. So each time you bring in a list of 10 people, there will be a trigger. Everyone that has access to blockchain will know that there is an error here. Probably this person doesn't have this identity and all that. So one big thing we can derive from blockchain as a state is to spend time, spend our resources, and educating the young ones on the benefits of the blockchain.
The biggest investment is in knowledge. We need to put our schools right. And to commit to this state, because if God has given you and brought you from a state, you must give to that state. You must return and give to that state, no matter who you are. And I'll continue to invest in this state. In the last 11 years, we do a book count. I put 2 billion every year, but last year I put more. 2026, I'm going to put 5 billion in educational institutions. When I left here yesterday, my state cannot be second class. When I left here yesterday, I went to inspect Holy Ghost College, the building I'm doing. That center in Holy Ghost College will be the biggest model AI learning center in the whole of Southeast. And I must commission it before the end of February. So I'm pleading with you that vehicles are not much sure of wealth. Big buildings are not sure of wealth. Sustenance is critical.
The two-day event winds to a close with a countdown to the state's Golden Jubilee, with a strong focus on building a diversified, thriving Imo economy for inclusive and shared prosperity. Well, this brings us to the end of this focus on the 2025 Imo State Economic Summit in Owerri. Many thanks for watching. I'm David Alabi.